411. Today we continue discussions on gender-based violence. And today we're speaking on digital forms of gender-based violence. With me are two very special guests, and I would like you to introduce yourselves, please.
My name is Eva Yai. I work with Google's ICT initiative. I'm the executive director and co-founder.
Thank you, Eva.
Okay, I said my name is Robert Eric. I'm the head of Safetycom South Sudan.
You're most welcome, both of you.
Thank
You're
you.
most welcome
Thank you.
to the show. Of course, you're aware that we are we're going through the 16 days of activism where we're trying to orange the world and end gender-based violence. And one form of gender-based violence that we don't usually speak on is on digital, right? And there are also many different forms of digital gender-based violence. Eva, tell me a bit about your own experience, or give me a bit of insight on what that is or what it looks like.
So digital gender-based violence, like you've said, it's not something people talk about a lot because people don't see it as a form of gender-based violence because it's virtual. But there are a lot of forms, and to mention a few of them, I could look at harassment. And harassment is actually very common. For example, networked harassment. Online, there are some platforms that have a lot of sexists and misogynists who just harass, especially online female gamers. Because you know how it is, the culture around technology, they think it's not something that is for women. So they always harass these women online. But also another one that we could talk about that's common also in South Sudan is harassment by partners who keep on stalking their wives online. For example, iPhone has this application called Find My iPhone. It's a very good application that can help locate your phone in case it's lost. But some spouses go as far as using it to
Locate their own partners.
And stalk them wherever they are. And in the end, this makes the women not to feel safe because they feel wherever they are being watched. And then, of course, there are those third-party softwares that are used. They are put into the victim's phone, and someone is able to know wherever they are, and they can also be able to read the messages of the victim. And in the end, if a message comes in and it's maybe a bit compromising, this could lead to offline violence in the end, but when it has actually started online. But most times we look at it as we ignore, because sometimes the person harassing is very far. It's maybe the person harassing is in a different city or in a different country.
Sometimes you don't even know who it is.
Yes, you don't know who it is, but actually it has a lot of effects. And also maybe another one which might not be so common, or maybe people don't know much about it, is deepfake.
Deepfake. What is deepfake?
So people, let's say a victim can have a photo online, and then someone uses that photo to maybe manipulate and come up with videos and compromising nude photos and pornographic content that
So basically putting your face on something else.
Yes, a video or a photo.
It's called deep fake.
Deep fake, the technology that is used. They use artificial intelligence and
Is this technology accessible by anyone?
Yes, because online we have amateur developers who can do the deep fake thing. Actually, there was an application called Deep Nude. It was downloadable, and people could download it on Windows and by then Linux. But people could play a game on your computer. You could just keep on clicking, and then the woman keeps on undressing themselves. And sometimes the photos that were being used were of prominent, famous actresses, people who are really big in Hollywood or somewhere. Good for women. But at some point, actually, the company had to pull down that software. They deleted it and they had to pay back the subscribers who had the paid version, they had to refund them. They were paying as much as $50 to have the upgraded version.
Wow. But now there are other apps that you can actually do this
Yes.
on, right? I guess this shouldn't be a surprise because every day a new meme comes about from, some celebrity somewhere, and then other people's faces are being put on those memes.
Yes.
Right. And sometimes it does not look very professional, but some of them are really, really good.
And I think you've used some of the apps as well, like FaceSwap. FaceSwap is one of the deep fake apps. Actually, it's based on the deep fake algorithms. I don't know if I think it uses autoencode. It kind of swaps the face or the content on it to the face of the person who is using it. So deep fake is there.
Wow.
But it depends on what you use it for. Although most people are trying to use it for porn, revenge porn, to hurt women in all sorts of ways. Yes.
Before we go into revenge porn, which is the most common, form of digital GBV in South Sudan, I would say, or maybe the most talked about. Let me say that.
Yes.
But Arik, give us a insight as head of safety comm. I'm sure you've seen so many cases of let's say attacks against women where the deep fake has been used before. Give us a bit of insight of what the reports look like.
Okay. On the deep fake, that one is really, it's a little bit complicated because the pictures or the videos usually come out when they look like they're really authentic. So it's very hard to tell or to convince the other people that this is not the person that did it. So, and like she said, they are accessible, they are online. So the only people that will help us maybe are the social media companies. Maybe they're working on bringing in algorithm that will be able to detect such things and maybe delete them. Then on the Safety.com side, we've had cases of revenge porn, a lot of them. And mostly what we do is we do not completely remove the video or the content. What we do is just to reduce the outreach of the content.
But why not remove it completely?
Because mostly people share it on WhatsApp, and when it's shared on WhatsApp, according to WhatsApp, they say that the conversation between point A to point B is end-to-end encrypted. So they cannot intervene there to remove the content that is in between. Unlike Messenger or Instagram, where there's no end-to-end encryption, unless maybe you put it. But there was a debate, like they were trying to put the end-to-end encryption on Messenger, but some people don't agree with it, so it was delayed. And the main reason why it was delayed was issues of gender-based violence, online, like that one of revenge porn. So if it is removed, these people will be given more freedom to be sharing more of this content. Yes.
Okay, and you mentioned that you've received many cases of out for help.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
What we do is that we try to talk to the person, the victim, and tell them that it's not your fault. Because mostly when the video goes out, people do not think about what the person or the victim is going through. What they do is judge. Why did you allow it? And they even just start forwarding it to their friends. So, but most of them used to happen on Messenger. So when we reduce the outreach on Messenger, I think it was better because most of them don't actually download. They just keep it, and then maybe they try to download some other time. Then when we have forwarded the content to be removed and the content is removed, and you try to come and download it, you find like the content is no longer there, and maybe if it looks like it's there, you try to forward it, the Facebook algorithm will warn you that this content is not there, and if you try to send it again, we will ban you.
Regarding revenge porn, you have two type of effects that come out, two type of results sort of that come out, right? First, you've got a vulnerable moment that is out there for the world to see. Second, you've got comments from every single person that knows you, does not know you, judging you everywhere, right? So what you were saying earlier, Eva, about the bullying and judging, and it's so many comments, and now it starts messing with your mental, mental health and so on. So it has different effects, right? How do we prevent it? Like what can help
to prevent such situation?
Yes.
What can help is that is to tell the people out there that never take pictures, that if you think this is a picture or a video that you wouldn't want maybe your family to see, don't take it. Because if you take it and then maybe you're not going to send it to anyone, it's in your phone. What if your phone gets lost or your phone is compromised in any other way? For example, I'll give you an example. There was someone whose pictures, a lady whose pictures were leaked because her phone got spoiled. So she took it to the repair guy. So the guy repaired the phone and then went beyond where he's supposed to go and then started leaking photos of the lady.
The guy who was repairing
Yes.
the phone.
Yes. So when the lady realized that like she came and took her phone, but the guy had already forwarded the messages or the content to himself. Then later on, then when she looked for a way that how these things got out, she realized that was the guy who repaired the phone is the one who leaked the photos. It wasn't here in South Sudan, but the person who did that was arrested and charged.
Now,
So, yeah.
had that happened in South Sudan, would someone be arrested?
Yeah, someone would be arrested because in May this year the cybercrime and computer misuse provisional order was signed by the president. So, and there is a part for that.
What does it say?
It says that if you try to put any information or pictures or videos about someone with the aim of embarrassing them, you'll be sentenced for 4 years in prison or a fine or both.
So we can actually report
Yes.
revenge porn cases.
Yes.
Or any cases pertaining to someone leaking something of you without
Absolutely.
your consent or
Yes.
with malicious intent. Let
Yes.
me say that.
Yes.
I mean, great news.
Yeah.
So that's one way to actually prevent, right? That's a strategy to prevent, because once you start arresting people, you start prosecuting people, they start getting afraid of, leaking something that they don't have the right to, or accessing things that they do not have the right to. So you'd say that the law is one of the best ways to actually.
Yeah, the law is one of the best way, and then the other one is you as a person, is that look around your surrounding. Do not send images you wouldn't want maybe people to close. Let me say your family to see. Do not send them to anyone, no matter how much you trust that person. But then, if you are to send them, if something forces you to do, there's no point of you putting your face there, because most of these cases become really hard when someone's face is there. Now they know who
Person
who is the person, and they start judging you because they know who you are. Yes.
And Eva, what are your thoughts on this?
I somehow disagree on the part of taking a photo and then you don't put your face there. I mean, yeah, that could be one of the solutions, but in the case of deepfake images and photos, they can pick an innocent photo of you maybe on Instagram or on Facebook, on any social media platform, and then they use it for to make a video. So in this case it becomes a bit complicated, but maybe we could look at other options, because I could give an example of myself. I was on this portal. It was an education portal by one of the big intergovernmental organizations where we had our information. And then their server was hacked, and all our information was stolen by the hackers, including my information. And then I got an email from someone I don't know, and the subject of the email was actually my password. They wrote my password as the subject. I saw that and I got scared. So I was trembling. I opened the message, and this person was telling me, I have your passwords, and this is one of them.
And the password was actually correct.
It was correct. And he told me that was one of the passwords. That was 2 months ago. And then he also, I don't know whether it was a he, but I'm assuming it was a he. And then he said he also hacked into my phone, because according to him, apparently I visited a porn site, and then he hacked into my camera. Of course, he didn't say he got this information from the website, and that he hacked into my phone camera and then was able to get into my contacts and got all my contact information, and that he made a porn video of me and he was going to send it to all my contacts. What I had to do was to send him $2,600 in Bitcoin. So I saw the message, but because I'm someone from tech background, I didn't panic. But if it was maybe someone else, they would panic. So I read the message again, and then I got out the keywords. He said he had all my passwords, and the one he sent me was one of them. Why didn't he send me all my passwords? That was one question. And then I went to my social media platforms like Facebook. I have like two-way authentication. I was like, okay, if he had access to my Facebook social media account, he would have kicked me out already, and I wouldn't have access, but I still had access. So what I did, I changed my password there and then, just to be safe. And then I went to my laptop, my phone. I checked if I had any saved passwords in my browser. They were not there. And then on top of that, he said he had a video of me, a porn video of me. Which video?
Right.
I didn't make any
You
video.
know yourself.
Yes.
You know you have
I
nothing.
didn't
Right.
visit anywhere. I didn't visit a porn site. So which video was he going to make? But again, I remember deepfake, and I was like, does he have a photo of me maybe, and he's going to use this to create a video or something? That could be the only way he could maybe succeed in doing that. But after taking all measures, so as women, to protect ourselves from that kind of harassment, we should make sure we secure our devices, we secure our passwords. That password he sent me was an old password that I had stopped using. I had moved on.
Yeah, but it got your attention because it was a correct
password. But
right.
if he had all my passwords, he should have sent all of them to me. Why did he send only that? And why didn't he access all my information online if he had other passwords? So I ignored the message, deleted it, and he never contacted me again. And the organization that had our information on their website, of course, apologized, and they sent out an email, and that's when I knew, okay, that's where they got my information. So sometimes you actually are very innocent. You just have your information innocently somewhere on a trusted website. It might not necessarily be an untrusted website. Like sometimes they warn us, they say don't give your information to websites that you don't trust. But this is a website.
Sometimes you haven't done anything really.
It could be a work website.
Right.
It could be a website for your organization that's hacked, and then they take information from your work email.
I have so many comments on that, but before we get to it, if you're just tuning in, this is Advanced Youth Radio. You're listening to Gender Talk 211. My name is Eva Lopa, and I am your host. Today, we continue discussions on gender-based violence. As we continue going through the 16 days of activism, we are tackling different issues of gender-based violence in South Sudan. One of them is digital forms of gender-based violence. If you're with us online, please put your comments and thoughts in the comment box. We would like to know your opinions, your thoughts, your experiences, and anything you'd like to share just in the comment box, and I will get to it at the end of the show. With me in the studio are,
Eva, yay.
Eric.
welcome again, Eva and Rick from Go Girls ICT and Safety Com. So Eva was just sharing on her experience on how an organization she'd been doing work with, a project with, right?
No, not really a project. I was studying and they were managing.
Right. Studying, and then they got hacked.
Yes.
Your information was leaked, and they tried. Well, I have a thought about that, and that you didn't panic from the beginning, mainly because you haven't done anything, you haven't gone anywhere, right? You didn't visit any porn site. You know this already. You haven't taken any type of, compromising videos. You know that already. But there are many people out there, if they receive something like that, it's definitely panic, because they do. And we can't necessarily stop it and say, do not send photos, or do not take this, or do not do that. We're human, and especially in times like this, you're in COVID times, and everything is distance, right? And you have young people that are in love, that their partners are somewhere else, and they are trying to express that love in one way or the other. So actually telling people, I've tried, trust me, I've tried saying it on this show a couple of times, send nothing, and it still happens. Okay, I've tried. So clearly that does not work. What other tips, both of you, Eva, as a leading woman in tech, right? You know all of the tricks. What are some of the tips that you can give women to protect themselves, other than do not do it?
That's very complicated.
Right.
It's very hard, but like I said, sometimes they can take an innocent photo of you, a profile picture, and they use it to create porn of you. So maybe whatever you feel, you don't want to get out there to be seen by everyone, try not to share that. But also, we blame the victims a lot. Maybe
Right.
we also need to talk to the men or the people who are doing it, and we see. So it's not an easy thing. It's not just about the individuals, but also the societies, the communities. It doesn't affect only the victims, but it affects a lot of people.
Right. The idea of knowing society's reaction, knowing how people are going to react. Already, the perpetrator, does not feel that they're doing something wrong, because he knows that, or they know. We keep saying he, by the way, or referring to the perpetrator as a man, because most of the time
Yes.
it's very common, right? And we see it all the time, that it's usually a man who is the perpetrator. There's nothing against men, just facts. It's truth. Okay, sorry, Eric. You get the reports, so you already know.
Yeah.
But yes, they already know how society is going to react to them leaking something of someone, because we always blame the victim, and they know that that's what we're going to do. So they're not seeing it as a crime. And then we do that a lot, to where we're saying, don't do it, right? It's best you just don't do it. But then they're not doing anything wrong.
No, they are not doing anything.
You get, like, it sort of says that, hey, you're doing something wrong and don't do it. Why do they have to stop doing it? People have to start minding their business, and stop attacking others. As simple as that, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I can add is that we shouldn't mainly focus on the victims. Maybe we should talk to the people who usually get involved in this. The cases that we have happened to be that we had one case whereby someone was hired to go and take videos of someone and then expose them online. So they were just mainly after the reputation. So so sometimes, like, the people who hire the people, the doers of this, are not maybe people that are far away from them. Maybe they are just people close, but they want their reputation to be a little bit better than the other person, so they'll go for such things. So I would say that imagine that you are doing it and maybe it's your sister. You would not definitely like it. So why do it to someone's sister or someone's wife or someone's girlfriend? So it's very important for the listeners out there to know that this thing doesn't only affect the victim. Maybe it could be you today, I mean it could be her today, the next day it could be you. So it's very, very important to also have such ethics. And then like she was talking about, you know, like we cannot stop taking pictures. We all take pictures all the time. We post them on Insta, on Twitter, on Facebook. So even if maybe your pictures were not taken from a data breach, like from a site like she was using, your pictures could be from your Facebook or your Instagram. But then you cannot tell people stop putting pictures on Instagram. So the only thing you can do is just that be very smart online, and make sure you use all the privacy settings that are provided by the social network to your best, because the case of deepfake is not at the moment like maybe the main thing.
Very serious.
Yes, especially when it comes to South Sudan. And the one that are usually going are pictures that were taken through like phones or cameras. So use your privacy setting, have two-factor authentication. Make sure you don't share your password with anyone, including your boyfriend. If you're sharing it, it's wrong. Like, you never know, it could be the one that is careless. I don't want to question sharing the password, but if you are sharing it and the person is careless and the account is compromised, you put your reputation on the line there. So make sure you do not share your password with anyone. Treat your password like a toothbrush. You don't share it with anyone, and always change it as well. And then another thing is they're a little bit longer. Try to get a disposable. There's so many disposable emails there. The disposable emails, I mean, are those emails that really they last maybe for a week or 10 minutes. So you can go and create one. There's one called YOP, Y-O-P.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a disposable email. You can create one so that you access that site, and then you leave alone your personal email or your work email from accessing that site, because most of these sites are not secure. They're just having materials mainly, and people go there. I mean, the main goal is to have traffic on that site, so they do not care about the rest. So if you go there and then that site is compromised, your details are taken. And then do not use one password for all the accounts that you have, because if your Facebook is compromised and maybe there's no so much information about you on Facebook and you're using the same password, hackers know that people are lazy. I'll go to Instagram and try the same password, and if it works and then I get information there, that is where I mean your reputation is on the line again. So it's very important to have passwords, different passwords for different networking account, and then make sure you watch your surrounding at all time, because I said earlier, like, if you go out, let me say, in cybersecurity they say that physical access means total access. So if you go out for 5 minutes and I get your phone, I can transfer a lot of stuff to myself, and then I can use that maybe when we have disagreements to blackmail you. So it's very important to watch your surroundings as much, and then you be smart online.
I hear you. There's another thing that we've experienced as a country with the person, where a woman was nominated for an MP seat. I think that was the case. Nominated for an MP seat, and there was a lot of controversy around appointment or nomination. and her information started getting out very, very quickly. We've seen, I think, a passport copy. We've seen passport copies. We've seen, what is it called? The national ID, Jinsia. We've seen that. Soon enough, her home address started getting out. We started seeing comments where she was very, very targeted. I mean, watching all of this unfold online, one, I didn't know what I can do. You know what I mean? It's different from when you're watching something happen in real life to where you can call people, report to the police, and so on. But then what happens when you're watching it online? You're watching this person being tormented, targeted, definitely abused. And this wasn't just Facebook. It was Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram. It was everywhere. And this went on for a few days. And nobody knew what they could do to help this lady. So she went into hiding. She had to go into hiding, fearing for her life. I don't think she was wrong, because I've seen what was being said. I watched people exchange her information. And I was afraid for her life as well. When something like that happens, what does the law says, and how can we help somebody that is being targeted online, especially women? Because we've also seen women politicians who get targeted online quite regularly, and then we don't know what to do about it. We can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the law doesn't allow you to put to publish any body's information or personal information. Personal information include your date of birth, your name, anything minus your consent. So anyone who does is definitely against the law and is liable to be charged. And the cybercrime computer misuse provisional order that is in place right now is not like the final thing.
Right.
Yeah. So they're still working on the bill to put the full thing. I mean,
Cyber
laws, and then they will have to be followed. And then when we're doing the cybersecurity awareness, we're reminding people, those one who do not have the copies of the cybercrime and computer misuse provisional order, that it's important that you have it, so that you use your social media responsibly, and you do not hurt others, and then you later say that I did know. So I'm still saying that out there, if you do not know it, look for it and then read it, so that you use your social media responsibly and do not hurt others. So the only thing I can say is that maybe I would request the government to provide accessible avenues, so that when such cases happen, someone goes there and then they are served. Yes.
Oh, people are actually served out
Yes.
of comments that they make online, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Okay. And Eva, what do you think about it? Or if you have any other solutions as well to this, please share.
There are a lot of solutions. Actually, Twitter has something about deepfake. I don't know if you've experienced it, but if there is a post and it looks a bit fake, they are able to tell you that it's fake, and then they try to give you information where you can get they give you links to where you can get information about it. And as of 27th November last year, 2020, they were actually calling in a community, people who are interested in developing models that can help them to further search and detect deepfake. So by now, I assume the community is already there and their algorithms have got better. And on Facebook, they actually have deepfake challenges, like deepfake creation challenges. They still invite people to submit videos that look as real as possible and photos. And through this, they are able to reverse engineer and able to create algorithms that can actually counter that. And then for the sake of sharing the issue of the lady whose passport information was shared, I think what we could do, sometimes we can just report some of those posts to
On-
Facebook.
on social media.
On social
Mm,
media. Whenever I find something that I feel is not really right, sometimes I just report it, and then I try to encourage most of my friends to also report it. So if there are a lot of people reporting that content, then Facebook puts it down. And these days I see they always block the posters from posting maybe for a week or for a month. So that's as much as we can do. And also a passport, someone posting your passport online, that feels like that's someone very close to you. And like Arik said, we have to really be aware of our surroundings. Which kind of people are we sharing our personal information with? Because this thing of information security doesn't actually start digitally. But, there is something called social engineering. Someone can befriend you, and they know your how you behave in real life, the pattern of how you do your things offline, and then they can use that information to be able to attack you online. So
Right.
we need to be careful about the friends we keep around us, the family members we trust in the end, and where we submit our information, because sometimes we can't avoid it. Sometimes you're required to maybe give your ID or passport. I've checked into hotels where they always ask for that. Actually, at one point we refused to photocopy our passports. We told these people, no, you just look at them and give them back. We cannot trust you. And they
Yes,
said
because
it's the policy.
because why actually do you need the data?
Why do they photocopy? I mean,
Right.
yeah, so it's also up to the communities, the businesses. Do they really need this information photocopied? Why do they need to actually keep it? I don't know, maybe Safetycom could clarify that. But I feel there is no need for these places sometimes you go to and then they want to take your information. So maybe someone somewhere there got that information and shared it.
I remember Safetycom, I think, discussed it during Cybersecurity Month,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes. Please add on to it.
So about this, maybe to add on something about what you were saying, most of these documents that Eva was saying were not shared mainly on Facebook. Some were published by media website. So, and they are still there up to date. So, even if you report them on Facebook, maybe Facebook will remove those that are on Facebook, but the ones that are being held on the website are still there. So it's up to the law to correct this and make sure that you do not publish somebody's information without their consent. And about the information that usually published by hotels, mostly, you know, in cybersecurity there's something called dumpster diving. So it's at the very, very start. And if maybe I want to find out information about you, I will start to look at your dustbin, because there are some documents that maybe you try to print and they didn't print properly, so you just put them together. So yes, so I can use that information to profile you, to get information about you. So but mostly it doesn't apply on individuals, it applies on organizations. So if I'm targeting an organization where you're working from, then maybe I'll target you so that I get access to certain parts of the organization. Now it is very important, or maybe, you know, we're telling the public, so it is very important for organizations or hotels or institutions that it is important to also respect people's personal information. Like people come and then they write their names when they are entering. So, and then you put your ID number, you put your number as well. So if I want to target someone and maybe I've seen their names there, it is very easy to get the information that you are not supposed to get. So maybe I would encourage people to try modern access controls, that if someone is supposed to enter your premises, look for other. For example, if you have visitors card, maybe you've ever gone to NCA. Yeah, okay, people write their names, but you're given an access, a
card,
card that will allow you to pass there.
Mm.
And then when you're coming back, you leave the card. So I would encourage people to make sure that you do not put people's information that you do not know the value, and then later on you go and dump it just anyhow, and then it falls into the wrong hands. And then another thing is I would say people that are maybe working, because if I remember those documents, I also saw them. They were not like, they were from the system, maybe where they were at the initial stage. Like, so do not use your power if you're working at a certain place to give out people's information without their consent. For example, let me say if those people working at the immigration and I work at the desk where I process your passport, so you come give me your passport, I mean your details, I process your passport, and then later on I send them out to fulfill my interest or that of my friend. That is very wrong, and I think that is definitely against the law as well.
Right.
Yes.
I think the two things that I would like to wrap up on. One, our own media houses not being careful enough with people's informations, right? We find out a lot of the times when it comes to rape victims, you find more rape survivors or victims. Their names are out there, their faces are out there, rather than the perpetrator, right? Especially when someone is being looked for, right? You're looking for someone who is a perpetrator, but you do not share their name or their photo. You'd rather share everything there is to know about the victim or survivor. And a lot of the times, it's children. I'm sure there are laws against this, to where you cannot share information, especially of children. I remember a very big case in South Sudan, the Rock City 3, where the 3 children were tragic incident in Rock City, and their images were out there. Very vulnerable images were out there. More so than that, the mother of Rock City 3, their parent was going through the most vulnerable times probably of her life, and her information was out there, her names, sometimes her location would get out as well. And I'm not sure who, but can media authority, how do we figure this one out? Even in Egypt, you remember the incident with the abuse, where a child, 2 or 3 children were actually speaking on sexual harassment and rape experiences, and you could tell they were uncomfortable. Number one, you could tell that they did not want to be there. You could tell that they were very afraid, and that is no place that we should put any child at all. And no one said no. Such cases I see happening a lot, and most of the time. How do we now stop that from happening, especially with media houses that are within Juba?
Yeah, I would say that most media houses, I mean, the staff or the people that are working there are not yet given proper awareness on the ethics or some of these things, what they should be posting, what they shouldn't, and how to be careful with this. And it's I would encourage the media authority mainly to put effort on that, to make sure that whoever that is there has a media house takes responsibility of what they put out there. So if you put something that is against the law, you are liable for it. Yeah.
Eva, any last comments for today? We are 46 minutes, and give me your last words, both of you.
Yeah, so maybe to comment on the journalist thing, maybe most of the capacity building programs should not just concentrate on the technical bit of journalism. But they should also put in the ethical part of it, and what happens, or how to ethically report without putting the victims or whoever is involved in the news that you're reporting, without compromising them. Yeah, and then I would also advise ladies, girls, try to keep your devices safe. Try to keep a smartphone or a mobile phone is your phone. You don't really have to share it with anyone. And in case you receive a threat from someone saying they have your video or your photos, if you're not very sure, then try to talk to someone who might be able to help you, because some people in the end up sending the money to those people who are blackmailing them, or they end up falling victim, yet maybe they could have sorted it out if they talked earlier. Most times they report when it's too late.
True.
What I would say is that something she mentioned earlier. It's actually we call it stalkerware, whereby there are apps that are installed on on people's phones, and then you are monitored with it. So be very vigilant. Try to always check your phone. Do you have apps that you actually install? If there are apps that are strange to you, check their permissions. What do they allow? And if you're not really comfortable and you're not using them, please uninstall them. Yes, so that you are not monitored. And these ones, it's very hard because they are legal, like they have been allowed and they are out there on Google. So someone can buy a spy app to monitor their girlfriends, or yes, mostly. So it's important that you always check your phone to see if you have the apps that you actually install. Yes, and do not, because most of these apps, sometimes you send a message that is triggering your curiosity, and then you end up going to a website where the app install itself. So it is important to always be very, very paranoid. Like, do not click things that you're not sure about. Yes, that one will also help you to prevent your account from being compromised. So on the internet, be very paranoid, always question everything, and then if you need help, Safticom is there. Very soon we're going to have a lady in the team as well. So so the lady will be mainly handling such things, that maybe if you need someone to talk to, then the lady will help in such cases.
You need someone to talk to in what manner? GBV cases?
Yeah.
Is that what?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Eric and Eva, for being here. And everyone else, if you'd like to continue the conversation with them, we have SafetyCom on Twitter, on Facebook. Do we have a website?
Yes.
What is the website?
Safticom.org.
Okay. And Eva, what is Facebook, Twitter, and a website?
The website is gogirlsictinitiative.org, and then Twitter is gogirlsjuba, and of course Facebook, Go Girls ICT Initiative.
Please visit Go Girls and SafetyCom websites for cybersecurity information or SafetyCom information. If you'd like to report any incident that you're going through that you feel SafetyCom can help you with, please do report. And Go Girls Initiative, which everyone knows is one of my favorite initiatives in South Sudan, women power in tech. I'm a huge fan, so please go and visit. You will not regret it. One last question that I overlooked. Ever since the provision, the cybercrime provision, was signed, have there been any arrests?
No.
Is that sort of an indication that it's not working? Because it seems people are reporting.
Sometimes most people are shy. Someone would say that I would rather keep quiet. So most people do not come and report it. Yeah.
They just like the problem to sort of go away.
Yeah,
they don't want to prosecute. Do not be afraid, please. If you're going through something, if someone is attacking you in any kind of way, on social media or digital media, please report it and prosecute people, because we need to start holding people accountable for all of the wrongdoings that they make. Remember, 16 days of activism this year, one of the most important components of this is accountability. Take action and be accountable. For the next few weeks, we'll continue speaking on 16 days of activism, orange the world, and therefore oranging South Sudan. So we'll be back next week with another episode on gender-based violence. For now, have a great night. Drive safe and get home safe as well.